I'm making a game inspired by DayZ, The Day Before, Dead Rising, and so many other zombie games. And here's all the progress I've made in the past month. Hello everyone and welcome back to UE5 BP Guru, and welcome back to the Day Before series, which, as you probably just saw, has now been changed to They Remain. This is our They Remain official first devlog. I'm going to call this our official first devlog. I'm going to try and do one a month and bring you something new to see every time. I've changed a bunch of stuff from the last episode, so hopefully by seeing this you'll see a lot of improvement and a lot of differences from what we had previously. But I won't talk too much because I'm waffling, and yeah, I just want to get down to the video and show you all the stuff that I've done. But before I do, I will just say there is now a wish list available. So if you are interested in this project and you are interested in seeing this game, the best way to do that is to go and support me by wishlisting the game on Steam, so that you keep up to date with all the changes, and of course you get a notification when one day this game releases. But as always, thank you to everyone who has already done so. I think we're on 140 so far. The Steam page went up about 3 weeks ago, so I'm pretty happy with that. And yeah, I'll let you get on to the video. So you probably remember from the last episode, this is how we left it off, looking with a few houses but just a street to explore. Well, I may have gone ahead and done some updates. As you can see, it's a lot more foliage in there now. There's a lot more noise in the level. You can see I've added in street signs, stop signs, and things like that. We've got a lot more houses now to explore in our test area, which I think is just much more kind of interesting to test in, because we have just such a bigger area to go around. I've started to add in things like a supermarket. We've got the diner still in here. You've probably seen this on Reddit if you do explore the Reddit. We've got this diner now. There's the supermarket. We have got a police station, but I haven't done much in there. But I want to obviously add in some lootables for weapons and things. But yeah, just this test area now is a little bit more interesting to run around and actually test and play in. And hopefully you guys agree. Now, obviously, this isn't the finalized version. This isn't what you're going to be running around in. This is purely for testing. But of course, we may use some of these items in the actual world we build, but obviously that's completely up for debate at this point. But yeah, just wanted to kind of show off what we're actually working with now. This has all been tested, by the way, guys. We have got an official server set up. I have people joining in with me every sort of 2-3 weeks and helping me to test for bugs and breaking the game. Their job is to break the game and tell me what is wrong with the game. As for design, I'm quite liking the actual sort of style of the street, but of course that doesn't mean it's going to translate well into a real world. I'm using tiles for this world at the moment. You can see that here. These tiles won't work when I build the real environment, because I want an actual landscape that I can mold and add rivers and proper roads. So this tile environment will just disappear eventually. It won't be a thing in the actual game. Otherwise, it would also be very flat. The world you'd explore would be incredibly flat, and I don't think anyone would really enjoy having just a boring flat world to explore. So I want to avoid this tiled environment completely. But the houses themselves and the trees and the grass, that all might move into the environment quite nicely. It's just the roads. So don't expect to see this kind of being repeated in the world that we actually will use for the environment. But as I say, we can all join this at the moment and run around and pick up guns and food and do a lot of things. So that was the first thing I wanted to show you guys in today's update. The other thing I really wanted to get rid of in this sort of episode was these horrible UE5 skeleton models. I think they're ugly, and they had to go. So I wanted to kind of get rid of these for the player, but not only the player, but the zombies, because I thought if we had the player sorted, but not the zombies, it'd still feel horrible and cheap. So I basically kind of went ahead and found a couple of models. The first one I found was the this one here. And again, these are just I'm using these as templates, to be honest, more than anything, just because I hated seeing the skeleton model. So I'm glad I've got a t-shirt on her, because to say for modesty. But yeah, I think they're actually pretty good models, to be honest. It's just getting them some clothes on and getting them animated and moving around. But the great thing about these models is they use the UE5 skeleton, so they just automatically kind of just went in and worked straight away, which was really, really nice. And it's the same as well for my zombies, wherever they are. Let's go for this one, maybe. Yep. Got a zombie here, and again, they look really good, really nice models, and they've got 3 different meshes, so straight away you've got a little bit of difference in your game as well, and they look really, really good as well up close. So yeah, really, really pleased with these two. So we have some zombies in game, but I'll talk a bit more about those in the next update, because I'm still working on them. There's a lot to do for the zombies too, so I'm going to leave that definitely to the next episode. And in all honesty, what I've been doing is other than the environment and adding in some houses, adding in our police station and our supermarket, which I'll show you now, I've been adding a lot more detail, just playing around more than anything, because I'm not quite at that level of building environment yet. That's going to be the longest process, and I really want to get it right, so I'm basically just playing around with all these decals and just getting them all looking nice. Now you can see we've got this very dark, very creepy supermarket here, and I've been adding in sort of all these lovely little props and stuff into our lootable locations. I think I showed a little bit of that off last time, but I've really been working hard to kind of add them in. I'm going to set this to unlit just so we can see that everything a little bit better. And I'm just playing around with detail, just playing around with getting in all these areas so that we can just test and sort of see how they feel, what works, what doesn't work, and of course adding in extra little bit details to them. I didn't want them to all be empty, otherwise it wouldn't really feel like you could loot them, and I guarantee a lot of people would just run by them and be like, where is everything? So I added in just these little details. I want to add in a method to chop and change these random rotations, and just have the system basically just make it look nice and not so repetitive as it does right now. So there's still work to be done, and of course we had this sort of mock-up kind of car crash going into the supermarket, just to add that level of detail. So yeah, lots of things to be done. I think everything's looking quite nice right now. It's just a case of getting it right before we go into building the actual environment. I want everything to be as fast as possible, so I'm not spending ridiculous amounts of times getting all these finite details. If I get it right now, I can just hopefully just drag and drop a lot of things in and it's good to go. Like for example, in here I've automatically started adding in these bookcases and these kitchens, so it speeds everything up when I come to do it down the line. It's all one unit, so if I move this, for example, everything moves with it. It's not just the building. So I'm trying to make everything as modular as possible and make everything just as easy as possible for myself when I come to that position. Other than that, yeah, I think a lot of this is good to go. So talked about the characters and getting those all in. If I press play now, I'm not going to talk about the zombies. I'm not going to talk about them, but I will just show you it working in game. As I said, the server is set up. I'm not going to show you the server today either. I want to make sure I get some people together so I can show everything working off as one. And at the moment, I haven't got anyone right now who could jump on and play the latest build. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit slow while everything's loading in because it's running this as I'm recording. I will just say this just before anyone comments, oh my god, it's super laggy, oh my god, how awful is this, blah blah blah. This is running well. A lot of other systems are running in place as well, like my recording system, like other bits and bobs. So just bear that in mind before you start judging early on. But as you can see, we can do everything. The other thing, I might as well do it in this one. while I'm talking about the character, the one thing I wanted to talk about is melee is in. We can melee attack now. It is working very nicely. So if I just run up to the zombie, you can see I can kill it with melee. So yeah, not sure exactly why the guys that did day before couldn't get melee working, because it's in game. I've got it working. It didn't take that much to do. It's all working relatively nicely. And obviously all of our shooting is working as well. I'm pretty far away, but let's just see if I can get it. There you go, zombie dead from miles away. There you go. So yeah, not sure. There's a little bit of tweaking to do. I think their collision capsule is pretty big. So you'll see that I'll hit it even though I definitely didn't hit it. So I do need to tweak some stuff, of course, as always. There's always bugs to fix and things to tweak this early in development. I've also got shotguns in game, so I can get the shotgun out. I'll grab some ammo as well. If you watched the earlier videos as well, I had an ammunition meter. It wasn't as part of the inventory, but I thought that was a bit cheap way of doing it. So I obviously went back and added in the ammunition into the character. So, oh my god, that nailed him. There you go. And I can reload, and it will reload the weapon from the inventory, which is great. There you go. Just get him before he gets me. Hello, buddy. There you go. There you go. Kill him as well. Now you can die. I can't show that because we're not on server, but if I die, all my items will go into a little drop bag and other players can loot that. I did read a lot of players talking in the day before about how loot drops only sort of sat around for like 6 minutes and you had to run all the way to get it before it despawned. So loot will last on this server for an hour. You'll have 1 hour to go and collect and grab whatever you want before it disappears. And when that bag is empty, it will also delete as well. So yeah, shotguns working, assault rifles, pistols, melee, all working in-game this time around. So I thought that was really, really good. And the last thing I'm going to talk about in this update is going to be just the amount of items we've got. So I've been working really, really hard on trying to bring a variety of items into the game. We are by no means done. I want there to be kind of like hundreds and hundreds of items. I want there to be specific items that are very, very rare that you will need for kind of base upgrades. You'll need certain items as well to keep survivors happy and, you know, all that kind of good stuff. So there is a single player aspect, you know. Wrong one. Where are my items? So we've got a very plethora of items right now. I think there's about 50 odd items in game at the moment. There's obviously basically no clothing yet. I'm still working on it. These clothing items here. But there's plenty of melee weapons already in the game. I want to add a few more different firearms into the game. There's plenty of food. Not all food is good. Some food is made for cooking, not for consuming raw. And if you eat it raw, you'll actually reduce your hunger. So there's that aspect as well. But there's all ammunition in game as well now. So every item has its ammo in the game. There's a couple of different armors you can grab, and I've been working on again, this is a system I'll show off in a future dev series when it's done, but we're going to have player builds and skill slots that you can upgrade that will make your player a bit more resilient to zombies and to other players and do more damage or last a bit longer with hunger, because I also found with DayZ that hunger and stamina and stuff is such an issue in that game that although it's realistic, it makes it not enjoyable to play. So I wanted to give players an opportunity to choose how they upgrade themselves. And if you hate the fact that you have to eat all the time, you can upgrade to have longer hunger, and you know, certain clothing will give you a bonus in damage, and so you can really make these more complex builds with the clothes that you wear and with the upgrades that you choose. There's obviously going to be more added to that, and I'll flesh that out more as I add more things into the game. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this update. It's a bit of a short one, to be honest. Hopefully I'll have zombies to show you next time. So in about a month's time, when I do the next devlog, I'll show you zombies, and I've got a lot of planned for zombies, so I'm going to talk a lot more about that as we go. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for watching. If you have any ideas or things you liked or disliked or things that could be improved, please put them in the comments, because it really does help me. And I will see you in the next episode. Much love. Take care. Bye.